guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is the 8th in a series of page turns of this stack or array of junk journals, and this week I have a junk journal made with relatively high-end arty junk. I'm still classifying it as a junk journal, but the theme is very much art, vibrant art, beautiful art. So if you have a love of paper and junk journals like me, then please do hit the subscribe button because I do have a lot more in store to share with you. And with that, let's clear away some of these others that I've already talked through in previous videos. And what I'd like to do is just turn the pages, tell you a little bit about what we see in front of us, tell you a little bit about some of the supplies that I used and the thought process as I went through it. So the size of the junk journal is 10.5 centimetres by 18 centimetres, and this time I have it in inches available, which is about 4 inches by 7 inches. And I have, as usual, left, because it's quite chunky and thick, a relatively deep spine. It's about 7mm, so just larger than half a centimetre there. It has 14 sheets of paper in it, so that's 28 pages or 56 sides, and I've left quite a lot of space for writing on in this one. Some of my other journals have got a bit more pattern and decoration on them, and perhaps as a result a bit less space for writing those lists. So do let me know if you think there's enough plain and space to write in, or should I be decorating a bit more? I'd love to know what your opinions are. Write me a comment down below. And with that, let's carry on, turn the pages, and hopefully you will enjoy just a few minutes of obsession and passion for paper with me. The outer cover is thick black cardstock, and I felt like I wanted something a little bit dramatic to offset the beautiful glitter of this cardstock on top. And in fact, this piece of paper was the inspiration for a lot of the content, and it's card that comes from the DCWV Hippie Chic pad. So this would have been 48 sheets. It is quite thick cardstock, and it has absolutely yummy patterns in these oranges and teals. Many of them are glittered, and many of them are these beautiful flowery swirly patterns. You've got some plain ones here, or some matte is probably a better way to describe it, but very much a 70s vibe. So I felt that that gave me just a little bit of inspiration for the rest of the journal. The signature's bound with a figure of 8 with string, so really simple to attach, and the back, while we're at it, I've kept plain, again to keep that black impact to offset many of the vibrant colours in it. On the inside, I start with some real rush of colour here. So we have a raspberry pink and some spots. I really like circles. And we have a page from a Rupert Bear journal. I've actually done one of my other journals is a Rupert Bear journal itself. So that gave me some real energy in this to contrast with the black. And I've added some tags throughout this journal with painty papers, so really bright red, orange and yellow. It's 2 pieces of paper together to give it some thickness, and again I've added in an orange vibrant some relatively wide organza ribbon there. So a tag on the front page, some spotty circles there, and then a plain page, and we go to one of these arty pictures. So this I think is a Georgian lady, a young lady, in a very pretty oval and relatively thick paper, and I think that came from an art history book. I haven't decorated further, I just felt that that was simple and pretty on its own. On the back we have another page with another Georgian lady, and we have some ledger paper. I've got plain on the back of the ledger paper and some very rich yellow, so maybe a sunflower yellow, but I've kept the pages plain again. So does that work for you, or should I have been decorating? Which do you prefer? What do you do in your journals? Here we have a young chap with, I'm guessing maybe early 1800s dress, longish curls. He's got a very rich velvet jacket here and I think that's a gold staff, but I've added him in a flip out so that we still have space under here for writing. On this side I've got a marble bust, again the black and white and grey theme, and on the other side I have a lovely red, yellow, splodgy circle of paint, and this is a Damien Hirst, so very different from those classical pictures that we were seeing at the beginning. To echo some of those colours on the left, I've got a little bit more of the painty paper, and I've added some yellow and lime green and teal circles on this scrapbook paper, and I've stuck that on the front of a pocket made from an A to Z. And I kept the tatty edge, I just felt that was a little bit of interest. We've got the back of the map, we have plain white paper, and we have some rich glittery gold washi tape there. The white paper, a little bit more of the Rupert Bear story. Very crisp text, very nice colours and pictures, I think, that echo the colours that we started with. Lined paper, a little bit of a belly band here. I've got 3 little sheets of paper here. We've got that sunflower yellow, and I've rounded the corners. And then also tucked in here I have got a little bit of a map of the north of Wales, and I've got a fold up of another little arty picture, some ladies clustered around a little baby. So carrying on that theme of sort of 1800s art, contrasting with some of the newer colours and papers. Here we've got a page that's come from an old tennis book, and we've got gentlemen in their top hats, ladies in their long dresses watching a game of tennis, and here they are with straw boaters queuing up for tickets presumably. Lined paper, plain paper, and actually this is a couple of pages from a herb book that I bought in a car boot sale, and I've done a video on the collection of books when I bought this. So I think this is a thistle, so I pulled out the green colours here in the stripy washi, and the other flower here is digitalis, so I think that is a variety of foxglove. Turning the pages, I've made that double thickness, so we have the back of a relatively aged looking piece of paper from a book about films. I've got squared paper and a stamp with some glitter glue. Kept the back of that plain. Another pocket on the back of the art history page, a bit more of that painty paper, and I've rounded the corners. Some matte paper, and here we have a very dapper chap in his interesting outfit, again I would say early 1800s, and if you can see in the background here it looks like he's having his horses tended to while he waits and poses and has his picture done. So turning the pages, in the centre we have a picture from L.S. Lowry, so Lawrence Stephen Lowry, who is an artist who painted pictures of Manchester in England depicting the conditions at the time with all of the smoggy air, I guess, and the factories, and he was known for these little matchstick men. So I felt that was worthy of the centre page, and again went with the theme of some of the black and the grey and the darker colours and the cream. I've got a spare pocket here, squared paper, a pull out of a more classical theme, a collection of individuals, not quite sure where that is, but that's a really beautiful scene with a lake there and individuals perhaps spending their time on a Sunday afternoon, who knows. There's a guy over here with a tray with a pot of tea, it looks like, coming to bring that out, refreshments for this lady and gentleman. We've got the back of the film paper, a plain page, a lined page, a little bit more of that tennis book, and here I just felt like a little bit of playing around really on the black cardstock. This is Imagination Crafts paint with a lot of mica in. I've used several of the paints. This is the set of paints. You can't really see the different colours in each of these, but basically they have different hues that come out really well when you use them on really dark colours, so maybe a deep chocolatey brown card or a black card, and what you see are blues and golds and bronze coming through the mica that isn't necessarily visible in each of these. So they're a lot of fun to use. I've had them a long time. They're lasting for ages, and I really need to find some different ways of using those as well. So actually, if you have any thoughts on how to use mica paints, I would very much appreciate any comments from you. Line paper, a bit more of the Rupert Bear page. Here he is, vibrant shirt, the classic red and yellow. Plain paper, more map. Here I used a little bit more of that 1970s hippie cardstock and added a little bit of the orange organza and a bit of that painty paper with glitter in it, and I felt that pulled out the orange in the card. And I've got another of the Jolly Smart chaps here in his plush velvet red coat and his nice little leggings there. So he tucks into the pocket. There's a little bit more of that mica painted cardstock with glitter glue and washi. Plain. Actually, this paper is relatively decent watercolour style, so you could use this book for actually drawing and painting a little bit. I've got the sunflower yellow paper, plain, ledger, a little bit more of the arty page, a chappie here, very similar to the lady at the front, so he looks relatively young, maybe again early 1800s, longish hair and his little shirt and very pretty little buttons. Plain paper, again I've stuck two together to make them thicker. I think this is a thesaurus on some very aged vintage paper, and a fold out at the back of a very smart man in his navy blue coat and breeches, and three dogs and his staff. So there we go, another whiz through a junk journal. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do give this a thumbs up and subscribe, because I'll be back next week with another one, and that's going to be a smashing journal for Halloween. So I do hope to see you again. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.